Hello, welcome to Crossplay Podcast episode 113, where today we are going to be talking about the new PlayStation State of Play. We're going to be talking about CD Projekt Red leaks, as well as a severe diatribe that I'm going to go on about the PS Plus games for June. And Steve and Matt are going to tell me that I'm wrong. Maybe some Pokemon stuff too, right here on Crossplay. My name is Taylar Allen. I am joined this week by Stephen Fontana and Matt Murray. New guests since I've started hosting, at least. Mm-hmm. So welcome to my show for the very first time, you two. Welcome in.
Thanks, man.
I'm super happy to be here, to be a wheel on your hitch, to go on this journey of video games.
Yeah,
together.
I can't believe I've done this 113 times, and this is your
113,
first time here,
it's amazing.
Crazy. This is the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, the internet's #1 gaming news podcast, starring people that you've never heard of because they've never been on the show before, like Steve and Matt. The Crossplay Podcast posts each and every week on kind of random days, depending on when we have other interviews and stuff. Usually it's on Thursdays, but, you know, this week was kind of a shit show. On YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, and our home, Podbean.
Don't forget your sister's ass. It's always on your sister's ass, too.
That, too. Yep. And, of course, you can check us out on the website as well, dualscreens.com. If you're loving the show, we would appreciate it if you'd leave us a review or subscribe if your platform supports that. Now, coming up this week, we've got a lot of really awesome stuff from the Dual Screens team, so I wanted to go over that. We just had an incredible interview with the community manager for the hit vampire survival game V Rising. That interview is going to be going up on Friday. Highly recommend you check that out. It was awesome. Like, there were some
it was
really
a great
cool
show.
Insights about the game, about like the thought process behind creating this like dope combat system and like vampiring everything up. It was really fun, super funny. He was awesome. An awesome guest for sure. We'd love to have him back on later on as well, but super excited for that. We just had a new review go up on the site. Steve, you want to tell them about some of the stuff that just hit the website?
Oh, man, do I ever. Let me tell you a story about how I have to pull up the website. Because I don't want to screw anything up. Yeah, we have a review of the Big Con Grift of the Year edition. Our main man, Jimmy, did an awesome review. The game had a couple of issues as far as technical issues, but we were also reviewing the pre-release build. So please take that with a grain of salt. But go to dualscreens.com, DUEL screens.com. Check out our review on that bad boy. Good stuff. We have just a ton of content coming out on Dual Screens. You had the V Rising preview review thing go up as well. That's actually still getting clicks. So very exciting stuff. And now with this interview posting, it's in early access right now on our Patreon, patreon.com/NDS podcast. But you could also wait for Friday, and that interview is going to go up as well. So that should help us out with that as well.
And if you want to support us over on Patreon, we just launched some new tiers. We revamped some things, kind of changed some things around to make sure that you guys got good value out of that support. Go toss us $1. You'll get access to our Discord. And I really do believe that you'll view that as worthwhile. The content that we have planned and have been putting out has been awesome. So if you like what you've been hearing, patreon.com/NDS podcast. Obviously, these shows and everything that we're doing couldn't exist without the generous support from all of our patrons, especially our Patreon producers, Colton, The Apprentice Nestler, and FNH Paul. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts.
Somebody asked me recently, why is he the apprentice? And we had mentioned this before, but I don't know if it was on a show. But it's because he is an electrician apprentice. And now
One day he'll just be Colton the Electrician Nestler.
That's
true. The journeyman.
Journeyman.
The next thing would be the journeyman, apprentice, journeyman,
it.
foreman, and then master electrician.
And then master. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's leveling up.
Colton's the
as he
master. Nestler does
Yeah.
sound
It
pretty
sounds
badass.
great.
Yeah, that's really
It
good.
sounds
That's
great.
dope.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait for us to be talking about our Patreon producers in 25 years when he's called the Master Nestler. It's gonna be dope.
Hello, my name is Taylor.
Welcome to Crossplay. No, it'll have like its sixth new name.
Yeah,
since then.
seriously.
Oh man, good times.
I think 6 is underselling it a little bit. Like,
every
it's
4
had-
years.
It's
4
had
times
4
6.
names
I mean,
so far.
yeah,
All right,
sure.
let's get into our most
Please do.
recent adventures in gaming. Previously on, Taylor was playing Elix.
Me too.
And Corey informed me that Elix 2 was actually out and wasn't just announced. I thought when it was released, that was them like announcing the sequel. So I was surprised last week, and so I went and bought Elix 2.
Yeah, no, it's
I've
been out for a
playing
while.
that.
Couple months now.
Yeah, it's been out since March.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Which is why actually we added the release roundup section to the show so that I could be less of an idiot and can remember when these things come out.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
either.
I've been checking out Elix 2. The game is janky as fuck, man, but
It
it's
really is. It really is.
Wasn't the first one that way too?
Oh yeah. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
Did you have a did that just happen moment in the like very beginning of the game? You are being chased by some sort of animals, like
yeah,
wolf animals.
It's space wolves.
Right. You're being chased, and the cutscene is like this lush thing, or whatever. I forget which direction it is. I don't remember if it's lush or if it's a desert, but whatever. Whatever it is, you then go into gameplay where you're going and just punching the shit out of these wolf things with like a pipe. But the world is completely different than the cutscene.
You're in a totally different area. It's like this barren wasteland.
Yeah.
And then you land and it's just this like kind of like cliffside foresty area.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
And then it cuts to him like escaping barely with his life after you
Like
just
falling off this
shit-canned.
cliff.
You just
Yeah.
completely shit-hosed these wolf creatures, and all of a sudden like one is about to get him, so he's like trying to climb up out of it. I was like, okay, this could have used a couple of more. This needed a director. Like a director should have been here and been like, wait, what? But hey, it's fun walking around and finding resources and punching the shit out of wolves. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and the thing I liked about the first game is like the world is very interesting, and if like if they had like a couple more people that they hired on to do like the writing and stuff to like make the writing like way less cringy, I think the story would be way more compelling. But, like the world building that they do is incredible. Basically like Earth was struck by this giant comet that carried this like rare off-Earth mineral called Elix, and it like created this apocalyptic event, and as humanity was recovering, these like different factions formed based off of how they wanted to like either embrace or get away from Elix. And so you've got this like juxtaposition of the people who embraced it and like recreated technology that are like these weird religious zealot guys. And then you've got the people who like completely shun away from it and are like, no, this is like terrible. We want to convert this into mana and use it to like cast magic and stuff. And they use like swords and bows. And so you've got these dudes with like fucking laser guns fighting like Johnny Two Sticks over here with like a
excuse me, it's
shooting.
It's hammer sticks.
Yeah. But like the world is really interesting, and like seeing that like it's like fucking dollar store version of Horizon Zero Dawn, where it's like technology pushed up against like primitive life a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. As janky as it is, I'm having a good time with it. I think it's really fun. I enjoy that world. So
did you have to turn the sensitivity down by like 1 million?
Oh, so much, so much. And playing on controller, it like I turned it all the way down, and it still feels too high.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's
got some issues. You know what? It would make a really, really, really good tabletop RPG.
Yeah, it totally would.
Yeah, that like let us do the moving, and target acquisition and combat.
Yeah.
And But like the
Yeah.
lore, you guys got it. You're on it.
Mhm.
You guys kick its ass.
It's literally just the lore though, because like
Yeah.
even the writing and dialogue and
Yeah.
like story is like so cheesy and weird
Yeah.
that like I don't know, man. It's cringy at
It was like,
times.
what
But
do Americans like circa 1998?
yeah,
That's the dialogue.
yeah, it's really weird.
Huh.
Steve, what else you been playing?
Oh man, Apex, baby. New season,
Yeah,
Oh,
new
boy.
character. I'm into it. We've been playing together. We were trying to do a Saturday night thing. You, me,
Yeah.
and the doctor, Mikey Kirsch, getting the squad back together. I'm having a blast, man. It's as good as it's ever been as far as the gunplay and the balance, and all that stuff. Like I'm loving just the way that they're rotating weapons in and out, making things craftable, and the new characters. Because I didn't play at all last season. Mad Maggie I didn't mess around with at all, so I'm playing with her a little bit more. I haven't played as the new character Newcastle. I haven't played with him at all. But I just been having a blast just working on dailies, weeklies. We've been playing ranked a little bit. There's a new ranked system. They now have rookie as is the only rank where you can't lose now points. Now you can go to bronze after rookie, and then you can actually rank out of it, which I think really helps people who just want to play casually and not get bodied in public lobbies. Because you and I both know Predator squads, big streamers, they love to just solo queue and just get as many kills as possible and not care about anything else, and it ruins the fun for the skill-based matchmaking. Because you could have a full lobby full of people that are just your strength, but they balance it, which they allow a Predator squad to go into that because the odds are not in their favor. But they'll drop and destroy 6 teams before they're killed, and it just takes the fun out of it. So the way they're doing ranked now helps balance that out a little bit.
Yeah, I was talking to some of our friends this last week about it, because we were having a tough go, like just
in the public
fight after fight after fight in both public and ranked. Like, I kind of ran into this issue with Fortnite on a much more accelerated rate, but like it feels like the crowd, the mass, is outpacing my skill level a little bit. Like I used to be able to get up to plat. I even hit diamond one split. And I was able to do that if I like just put the time in. I don't feel like I can do that. Like I feel like gold is my tops right now. And I feel like the competition, the way that they move, the way they use abilities, the way they rotate is just like way above where I feel like I'm at now. And that's not a bad thing. Like Apex still feels good. It's still fun to play, but I definitely find myself getting more frustrated more often with the game.
Yeah. I want to just unlock stuff. Like that's why I play the game. I want to unlock cool skins, play with my friends, chat. I'm not a competitive person. Getting dubs is great, but like I just want to unlock stuff. I want to do my dailies and weeklies and just kind of hang out and chat with my buds and kill some people or not, and just learn how to use new weapons. Like I just don't care about any of that stuff. No, if you're big into COD with your group of people, and you guys are super hardcore about it, but you use it as a way to catch up with old friends.
Yeah, I mean, it really that kind of spawned from the pandemic. Like we didn't hang out for quite a while, and it ended up us kind of all reconnecting that way, and is continued kind of to be a way for us to connect as adults on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like you can't always hang out all the time, but you could find a couple hours maybe every few days to hang out and play some games.
And I'm okay with Apex being that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, like I think probably when we were all younger, being competitive was much more important. And there are some games where I'm like Rocket League, I get mad sometimes when I do bad, but I don't not raging mad, but
Yeah.
it definitely is more of a it's definitely more of a social thing than a competitive thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just get frustrated like dropping 5 times and losing my first gunfight 5 times.
Yeah,
Like
it's the
Sure.
worst.
that makes me want to pull my hair out. And I know like our friends like Mike and Andrew, who we play with a lot, they're kind of the same way. And so like when one person starts raging, it kind of like saps the fun out of it for everybody. And it seems like the season has been a little bit more ragey than others. But
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Matt,
three of you are tough when like if it's me and any of the combination of two of the three of you guys, it's like if I lose one of you, I focus so hard on making you not give a shit about the game.
yeah.
Just gonna pull them out.
I have to pull him out. I'm just like, dude, what are we doing? Watch this. Like I'm gonna drop us in like a zone that has one hut and just do nothing for the next 25 minutes. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sandbagging.
And that's been our Apex minute.
Apex minutes.
Matt, what have you been playing, man?
So a lot of indies for indies nuts, but Rogue Legacy 2 has really been something I've been diving into lately. I didn't pick it up on early access, but now that it's actually at its full release, I decided to really get into it. And I don't know if in the indie space right now there is a better example of a sequel done correctly than Rogue
Mm.
Legacy 2. It expands so well on everything that the first game did right, that I'm having a hard time putting it down. And it really is. It's fantastic. The classes, all the new stuff they added with like the relics and all that. It's really really great.
How far in are you?
So I just finally got the Echo boots, and I'm
Okay.
over in that area. So I'm not super far. Like I beat the first boss.
Okay.
And I've made my way to the second area.
Yeah, so I've been playing Rogue Legacy 2 a lot. I got it in early access on Epic. And so I've been playing it off and on for the last like year. And right now, with the like 1.0 release, I started a new game. I think I have one boss left before like the final boss.
Nice.
And the game does such a good job at like building on all of the things that you learn. Like it does it so well. Like the double jump thing that you get, or the echo boots and things like that. You like learn the basic mechanics of it, and then each new area will add like a little twist, a little something new that you can do with them. And they like continue to build on top of each other over and over. The area that I'm in now, I basically have to use the echo boots to like free climb the side of a tower. It's just like open air, and if I fall, then you like fall way down or like take a
That's
shit ton
awesome.
of damage. Like it's really cool.
One of the
and-
things that I noticed just from being in the second area, like a difference from the first game, a lot of the areas in the first game didn't feel samey necessarily, but like mechanically they worked very similarly. Whereas even just in this second area with the echo boots, traversal is like entirely different. It's just
Yeah.
a totally. It's like it really is in a Celeste kind of way where like I'm now, completely engaging the game in a different way.
Yeah. And they like that second area is like way more open too.
Yep.
They do a really good job of like varying the pacing and stuff. Which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cannot say enough good things about this game. The like way that you improve your character marginally between each run, and the like gear that you get and the relics and stuff are so interesting and cool, and like continue giving like things to chase as well. Like it's not just okay, I need to kill this next boss. It's like, all right, I need to get to this node so that I can unlock this new class because I want to try out the bard or whatever. Like
The chef's my favorite.
the chef's my favorite too. The chef's so fucking good. Like
I think that's like
love
I
that
said,
chef.
that too is like they did such a good job at expanding like in the first game it was like, all right, the assassin and the, you have the warrior and the,
Yeah.
they did such a good job at expanding the cast in not only just like a mechanically, but like also just like comedically. Like they
Yes.
it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, obviously, and they just really lean into that in a lot of the places. The traits are always hilarious to come across, and like the different
Mhm.
combinations of starts that you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, again, I'm right with you. I can't recommend it enough, and I haven't even dug as deep into it as you have.
Have you played as the bard yet?
No, not yet.
The bard is hilarious. Basically, you have like a lute and you shoot out these notes into the air, and then you can use the echo boots to bounce off of them, and every time you hit them, it's like you're playing that chord again, and it like reverberates and does more damage. And then his like class ability plays all of the notes, and it's like this big like grand finale thing. It's really
That
cool. It's
sounds
like
amazing.
it's so chaotic. It's a totally different like play style and
Mhm.
everything, but it's a ton of fun. And the way that they've like made these classes like interesting and feel unique and stuff is totally awesome.
Yeah,
I
it really is.
love the game. What else do you got? I see you got one more here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us have been playing V Rising, right?
Mhm.
It's just a game that has taken over a large portion of our group. And I've really just been liking how this game plays and everything about it. And it kind of agree with your statements that you made in your article, which everybody should read. Even though I like survival games, you hit on so many good points, just like the action first, crafting and building later is such a good way to approach a game like this, and the
Mhm.
Diablo style and how much you can kind of craft your own build. It's just great. It's a fun world to explore. It's a fun world to build in, and it's a fun world to just kind of walk around. It's great.
Yeah. One thing that Jeremy said, who's the community manager for V Rising, was that that like really stuck out to me was that they want all of the systems to like harmonize together and for you to interact with all of the systems. And I totally noticed myself doing that, even though I hate like base building and stuff like that, like I mentioned in the article.
Hmm.
Like this game makes me want to engage in base building because I know it's going to help me get better weapons or new abilities or whatever, which will then make it so I can fight cooler bosses and unlock more stuff, and it all just like continues to feed back into each other.
Right.
And they've done such an incredible job with that.
Yeah, I
um
think the bosses specifically are kind of what set this apart from other survival games for me. Like Valheim kind of touched on it a little bit.
yeah.
Um, but because of how like the powers work and how you get the powers, and like you have this like assassination list essentially of bosses that you're going after, there's always a carrot on the stick that you're very aware of, right?
Yeah.
It's never like hidden behind anything, and you're always kind of walking towards the next carrot on the stick, and they do a very good
Mhm.
job of leading you there.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, we've kind of covered all the stuff that I've been playing. One other thing that I just wanted to touch on, when I saw the announcement that Temtem's 1.0 release date
Mhm.
came out, I re-downloaded and created a new character there because I totally forgot how to play the game and what Temtem I had and stuff. So I started a new Temtem playthrough. Um, they have added so much to that game.
They really have.
Uh, like
Yeah.
it, I first played Temtem probably about a year ago now. And even in the last year, like there are mounts now. They've got fucking four wheelers and like jet skis that you can ride. They've added a bunch of areas. Um, Temtem's fucking awesome, man. Like that game is so cool. I cannot wait to see what they do like post release and stuff too, and how they continue to support the game. Like hats off to that dev team, man. They are like doing what Pokemon fans have wanted for the last 15 years, you know? And they're doing it really, really well. So love Temtem. Can't say enough good about them. All right, now it's time for release roundup. I'm gonna run through the list. Let me know if there's anything that stands out to you guys. First,
Mhm.
Lake, the indie darling, is coming out on Stadia. That came out yesterday.
That stands out to
Still,
me.
because it's coming out on
'Cause-
Stadia.
Why is Stadia still a thing? Continue.
I don't know. Silt coming out everywhere that released yesterday as well.
This
Card
game
Shark.
looks like a me as fuck game.
Yeah, you should check that out. Card Shark that's coming out on the Switch and PC today. Diablo Immortal, PC and mobile that came out today.
Mhm.
I have some thoughts about
Yep,
Diablo Immortal.
Same.
Holy shit! Like
It's not bad.
quick sidebar. Gameplay mechanics are really fun and good, right? They embraced the mobile game platform like only
Completely.
Blizzard and Activision can.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
it is
it's like inches away from being pay to win.
I would argue that it is pay to win. Like it is, and so aggressively in your face. After you finish anything, you get a pop-up on your screen telling you about this limited time on sale pack or whatever. Like it is intrusive.
Like think of any other mobile game where like you go back to a menu and it tells you about these things, and it's literally just after any event that you complete.
Yeah.
And they
It
just
is.
shove it in your fucking face. It's terrible. What sucks though is that like mechanically it's actually a pretty fun game. And if they didn't have
It's
that shit
Diablo.
in
It's
there,
really good.
Yeah, it's
it would
Diablo.
be
So
it's a
well.
Diablo game.
Yeah. It's
Takes
the
place
first Diablo
between 2
game
and
we've
3.
gotten in a decade.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, it just I don't know. It bums me out, man.
Yeah.
It's very
it's fun.
Chinese.
Yeah. Steve, continue reading. I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay. We also have Gigapocalypse coming to the LGS.
Uh,
The limited
LGS.
game system.
no, LGS. That is last gen and Switch.
There you go.
Oh.
See, I'm
Oh.
getting it. I'm getting
Yeah.
it. Soldiers, which you were actually playing.
Game
Uh,
is dope. This game
listen
is
up.
so good.
Do you
Buy
wanna
it.
give
Buy it
people-
now.
Yeah, we spoke about it on Indies Nuts in depth. So if you want to check out that episode, please do. Unexplored 2: The Wayfarer's Legacy is
Alright.
coming to Xbox
The Xbox family,
PS4, and
and
PC.
PC.
Thank you.
So
Got
it's
it.
coming to Xbox Series and Xbox One. It's
Unexplored
coming to
is dope.
PS4, but not PS5.
I think everybody needs to check this game out because I don't think it's getting enough hype. And the first one is one of the most interesting and oddly in-depth roguelikes I've ever played in my life.
Are all video
I
games
cannot
just
deny.
roguelikes now?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Spellforce 3 Reforced is coming to E for
Roguelike
everything.
edition.
Everything.
And then KOTOR 2 coming to the Switch is coming to the Switch on the 6th.
On the
8th.
8th, sorry, 6/8.
Yes.
So
right.
yeah, good stuff.
And that is a release roundup. Let's get into the dual screens report. We've got some interesting news this week, and that'll lead us into our topic of the show where we run down the state of play and kind of go through those announcements. But first, a couple of things. People always be looking in files of
I'm
different
looking in
things,
files.
right? Yeah, people be looking in files. Steam's backend files recently had some references added that were very specifically Returnal. Like there was references to like Atropos and stuff like that, which is the planet that Returnal takes place on. So a lot of people are speculating that Returnal is going to be coming to PC soon. I thought for sure we were going to get this in the state of play today, but no. So, what do you guys think? Returnal on PC?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think go for it. I think more people need to like play this game. It's my favorite game of last year. And it's just it's a piece of art that needs to be shared with people outside of the PlayStation community.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the fact that Sony is like doubling down and continuing to like port their stuff to PC, I think is such a good sign and will ultimately lead to more success for PlayStation Studios. I think it's a win-win. You know, you're getting it to a wider PC audience and hopefully are converting some of those people to like engage with your ecosystem more so that they can get those games sooner. I think it's a great move. Another interesting leak that has come out recently, though, by CD Projekt Red themselves, the entire script of the new Cyberpunk expansion was just put into the game files of the live game with their most recent update. The entire script.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to amaze me. Like, I held them in such high regard. And
Cyberpunk's good,
man.
though. It's in a good state right now.
Is it?
Well,
it is.
It is.
It is.
But, like...
Not for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is just... It just, like, is... We keep going with this, right? Like,
yeah.
Finally it is in a good state, and then this happens. Is it the worst thing ever? Probably not, but, like, it's more of just, like, a... Wow, things are still messed up there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More just like lol CD Projekt. And I think that it will probably help once they switch over to Unreal Engine. The Cyberpunk expansions are going to be the last thing that they do on Red Engine. They're like retiring the engine after this, which I think is going to be good and will help them develop games quicker. Everything that I've seen from Unreal 5 points to it being like the most powerful and most intuitive development platform out there. And so maybe moving away from like their janky Red Engine will help, but I don't know. This just kind of like seems like a rookie move to me.
Yeah. The whole what happened? What how does I just don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand how that entire script gets close enough to the live game where someone can click a button
and
that
it's
it
in the
actually
file.
pushes. Yeah. That's silly to me. Okay. I need you guys to read to me the PS Plus games for June. And then I'm going to go on a slight diatribe here. And you're going to tell me that I'm wrong or whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, the June monthly games we're getting on PS5/PS4. This is the PS5 highlight of the release. We're getting Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Fine.
Pretty dope video game. PS4 is getting Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker.
The weebs are so excited.
I have no idea.
Issues there.
There's so many words in that title
game?
that I don't know.
Is it a soccer
what are.
game?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
is
sure
it a
it's
Shinobi
a
game?
I think it's a fighting game.
Cool. Fight
Whatever.
each other.
No issues there.
And
continue.
On PS4, we are getting a God of War. Boy.
I have to start off with an asterisk. God of War is one of the greatest games ever made. Like, hands down, I'm not disputing that whatsoever. The fact that this game is getting released in June of 2022, 4 years after it came out on PS Plus, is what frustrates me. So, in order for this game to like be of value to you, you have to have not purchased it anytime over the last 4 years, which, you know, granted, that happens, whatever, cool, free game. You have to not have a PS5, because if you have a PS5, you already have the game in the PS Plus collection. And if you don't have PS Plus, then you're not getting the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. You have to have not subscribed to PS Now, because the game has been like the highlight game on PS Now for the last 2 years. And you have to have not picked up the game at any point when it's been on sale for like $16 over the last 4 years. Who is this game for?
Everyone else. Everyone that's left.
There's 15 people left. Like, I can count on my hands and toes how many people are going to take advantage of this and be like, yes, I was... Oh, the other thing is you have to actually be interested in God of War.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Like,
I feel like that's a pretty large caveat.
Yeah,
that particular one, right? I think most people who have a PlayStation, maybe not most, but a lot are interested in God of War.
Most
Everything else, I actually totally agree with you with.
most
Yeah.
PlayStation gamers don't have a PS5. Most yeah. I mean most PlayStation gamers don't have a PS5. They have a PS4. That's just fact.
Sure.
There's just an insane amount of PS4s in the world.
You also have to have never known someone who owns the game physically that you could borrow it from, or like
Sure,
rented
but
the game,
but
Or
like,
game share it.
or
what,
game share.
what I think
like,
this is, it's two things. One, it's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I played this 4 years ago. I sold my game a long time ago. I still can't get my hands on a PS5. All right, I'll download this real quick. I'll have it forever, whatever. There's that. Also, I think this all but confirms God of War 2 this year.
I think this confirms God of War 2 is definitely coming out.
This year.
I am
Full
on
stop.
record. Yeah, I am on record as saying I have like a less than 5% confidence that God of War 2 is coming out this year. Like I don't feel good about it at all. And even if the Sony showcase comes at the end of July or whenever they do it, and they announce a date for November, I'm still less than 5% confident that the game will come out this year. Because it was the same song and dance with the first Horizon, and it got pushed. It was the same song and dance with fucking The Last of Us 2, and it got pushed. Horizon Zero Dawn 2, it got pushed. Ghosts of Tsushima, it got pushed. There's no chance it is coming out for holiday this year. No chance. This is going to come out in February or March next year.
I was holding out hope that, and I know that they announced specifically that it wasn't going to be here, but that maybe we would have gotten some glimmer of it at the State of Play today. But I think whatever later showcase that they do is too late to be finally showing off gameplay and a release date for it to release this year.
That's not even my concern.
But they do play it pretty close to the chest, I guess.
Well,
yeah, that's not even my concern. Like, God of War 1 generated enough hype for this game that they could pull a Fallout 4 and show it in July and release it in November, and there would be enough hype for it. Like,
Sure.
yeah, they're not worried
it,
about
like,
that. No, they're
I'm not worried about
that.
it, like, not getting enough marketing or whatever. Like, I just genuinely don't think that, like, you can trust Sony release dates.
Do you know
Plain and
why?
simple.
Well, just remember this. This was originally slated for fall of 2021. And
That's not true.
yes, it was.
Maybe internally they never announced that.
It was part of a PlayStation blog in June of 2021 that it was a target release of 2021. It was pushed out of its, like, almost immediately due to pandemic issues, and I believe the main actor not being able to do, he had to get a surgery or something like that.
Christopher Judge had some surgery or something.
But they were, the game itself, the game development itself was way further along than that delay would had alluded to, because the things that they needed to do were very specific to the motion capture for him. But everything else, gameplay wise, all that stuff, the world, the levels, bosses, like all that stuff has been way more far along than we thought. Remember, 2018, the game came out. It was finished in 2017.
Yeah, but you and I both know that game development is not a linear thing. Like,
it is for them.
Just because they're like, all right, we just need voice lines and mocap for Christopher Judge and we're good, doesn't mean that when they put that in, like, the house of cards that is video game networking,
No.
like.
But I think that's why we don't have a date exactly right now. I really think that Sony, I think that there's no reason for this game not to come out this year. I don't think there's been I don't think it's never been in a turmoil. It's never been a scope issue. It's never been a creative issue like other games that got pushed, not necessarily by Sony, but by really anybody. It's always like, oh, the game just, we need more time, we need more time, we need more time. Not just polish. Ghost of Tsushima was a polish thing, and it was pushed to not cannibalize The Last of Us. The Last of Us was pushed for polish. They specifically said that it was, and it was only like what, a month, something like that. 2 months, I forget what it was when they pushed it.
It was originally supposed to release in fall of what, that would have been,
It was 2019.
19?
Yeah.
And then that ended up not coming out for another 6 months. They delayed it initially, and then they delayed it again a month.
Yeah, they delayed it. It was going to be an April thing, I think, and then it became a May thing. Which to me, again, that's polish. That's a polish thing. That's not, the game doesn't work. That's not a Cyberpunk delay. That's not.
I'm not saying that the game isn't going to work or whatever, but like, I have full confidence the game's going to be amazing. I just don't have full confidence that the game's coming out this year. Like, we've seen it with both Horizon games as well, where it's been like, for sure, this is coming out holiday. We've gotten announcements at E3 time, and then it gets pushed. September rolls around, we get the fucking gorilla logo on the black typeface with the long explanation about why they're pushing it 3 months. Like, I just have no confidence.
I just think that would have happened for God of War already. I think we would have gotten that once already.
Why is that any different than like Horizon 1 or 2 getting pushed in September when they're supposed to come out in November? You know?
Well, I think, like,
it's the same thing.
I think the games that the most recent ones, not necessarily the first Horizon, because remember, that was a much bigger first scope for them. Like, that was like they reinvented the wheel with what they can do over there. Whereas God of War, that was the first one. The 2018 God of War was them like reinventing the God of War wheel. And I think and they have it. Like they know what they're doing. They you know, it's the world is there, the combat's there, the systems are there, all that stuff is there, and it's still coming on previous gen. So you know they didn't push the technology. They're not learning new technology. They're, you know, it's just going to be another one of those, oh, is it 4K? Maybe. It's like checkerboard 4K 60 FPS on PS5. You know, it's not, it's like, I just think that they are by far the best studio when it comes to putting their games out. And I have full faith that they're, and the game really, like God of War, when you look at what it actually is and how it's actually built, it's not this massive open world, you know, tower climbing, millions of enemies running around, you know what I mean? It's not like this big thing. It's very, I don't want to say linear because it wasn't, but it's very deliberate in what you're doing in that game. It's controlled. Everything is so beautifully controlled. And remember, it was one continuous shot too, which was fucking awesome. I just have way more faith in them.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah,
I would love for them to prove me wrong. I just like, Sony has shown time and time again that you can't trust their release dates, and I like, until the game is out, like, I'm not gonna trust that release date.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna feel good about it.
That's fair.
Another thing that you might not trust is the team over at Epic Games, when they say that they'll cover the development costs and marketing for you. As Remedy Entertainment found out when they released Alan Wake Remastered last year, this was one of those exclusive deals with Epic, where Epic covers your development and your marketing costs, but you don't make any money until they recoup that. In an earnings call, I don't know if it was the CEO or the CFO, had mentioned that Control sales were down year over year, in line with what they were expecting. And revenue was down because they haven't received any payments from Epic Games because they haven't recouped their development cost on that project yet.
Mm-hmm.
How tough does that have to be as a development studio, knowing that like you put this thing out and you're never going to make any money on it?
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow for sure. It stinks too because I mean that I don't know if you've played Alan Wake or who has played Alan Wake here, but that is a fantastic game. And it needed a remaster in my opinion. Um, and I don't know. That's like that's like working at a job for X amount of time and just not seeing the fruits of your labor, right?
Yeah.
You've put all this time into putting this product out, and now you have nothing to not nothing to show for it. I'm sure they got paid during the time, but they really don't
Yeah.
have anything in the end.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing is because Epic, like, covered the bill up front, like all of their
They didn't
employees
lose
got
money.
paid. Yeah, they
Right.
didn't lose money. They're not going under or anything. But like to put this work out to then like not see any profits returned back, like
Yeah.
that's
Here's
got to be a little demoralizing.
I have a very it's not necessarily controversial, but I have more of a stern opinion on this. And to me, that is poor, and I mean very poor, producer issues, studio heads, or whoever at Remedy was running this project and was budgeting for it, and they made bad decisions. Like,
Yeah.
there is no reason that even if you projected a certain amount of sales for whatever reason, having an exclusive deal with somebody already is going to chip away at those sales. It's a matter of fact. This was, we have nothing to lose. Let's take whatever deal they give us. We have nothing to lose. But that game should not have. They should not have accepted as much money as they did for that game, and they should not have had to spend as much money as they did if the game has not recouped that yet. That's just poor management. That's poor financial planning. That's poor resource management. If your overhead, if you're running a restaurant and you're buying ingredients and your overhead, and at the end of the day you just paid for your employees and your food and your whatever, and you didn't make a nickel profit, that's poor management.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I think that's totally fair. I think the other part of this deal that like kind of goes under the radar a little bit is I'm pretty sure Epic holds exclusive license on this game until they recoup those costs. So this game may never come to Steam,
right?
Like it could be, locked to that platform if Epic never recoups that. Which sucks. Like, I know a lot of people like just want their library on Steam. And I get that. So,
well, they have
it's hard.
They have Alan Wake 2, right? Wasn't that a whole situation?
That is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so this got announced in lieu with the Alan Wake 2 announcement.
So like they still have that they can go on.
Mm-hmm.
That will boost sales of Alan Wake. They could do like a combo pack, get a couple bucks extra for the first one. Like, it's not the end of the road for the Alan Wake remastered. It's just it sucks to see something like that happen, but also thank God for Epic, because if they spent that money on their own and put it out in the world and it was received the way it was, with them spending that money, maybe there would be more problems to be speaking about.
Right. Yeah, it would have definitely been a much larger issue.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Last dual screens report before we jump into our topic of the show. We had a fucking bright and early Pokemon. What do they call these?
They're
Teaser trailers.
Yeah, it wasn't a direct.
Thing.
It was
whatever.
a trailer. Yeah.
A Pokemon thing. It was bright and early the other day. Like 7 a.m. my time or something.
Yeah, it was 6 a.m. Pacific time.
But they they showed off Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We got to see a little bit more from the starters. We got to see the world a little bit. We got to see the cutest little pig Pokemon Lechonk that you've ever seen in your entire life.
Lechonk.
But some of the cooler features that they showed off, the game is going to be more open world like Pokemon Legends Arceus was. It looks like a similar like catching and battling system, though it is like, more in like a battle menu.
There seem to be
like
more
a traditional Pokemon. Yeah. But 4-player co-op for the entire campaign, that looks dope. That looks super cool.
Yeah, that's what people have always wanted. Who's always wanted to just adventure with your friends, and they did it a little bit with Sword and Shield, in that free roaming area. I forget what they call it, but you could go with your friends and do some like raids and stuff like that. So they toyed around with that a little bit. As excited as I was for 4-player, I remember how fucking absolutely asinine Nintendo's online always is, and trying to play with your friends is just a clusterfuck at every turn. So that my excitement was immediately punched directly in the dick. So that was unfortunate. But the coolest thing that I took away from all of this was, we know what the themes of the two games are. If you paid attention to, there's two different professors, and one of them is dressed very kind of tribally, old school kind of leathers and rope and stuff,
fur and stuff.
Yeah. And the other one is very technological, a lot of circuitry and shininess and metallic stuff. So it looks like Scarlet is going to be set in a past, so it's going to be time is going to be your theme here. It's going to be past. I don't know if it's ancient. I don't know if it's going to be prehistoric, because there's still buildings and like it's still new-ish. So it's probably going to be something between Arceus and Pearl and Diamond, like something like that. But the future one, it looks cool too. The Legendaries were cool.
Yeah, they revealed the Legendaries. They're on the cover, obviously, as they always are. And the Scarlet Legendary is, kind of along those same themes. They're both like
a burb.
Very traditional, like kind of Japanese dragon looking. But the one for Violet has like fucking jet boosters and like circuitry all going through its body and stuff. It looks cool. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm excited for it. I'm way more excited about this game than I was for Sword and Shield. So I'm definitely excited to jump in. How much of this change do you think was kind of forced upon them by the success of Temtem?
It's hard to say.
An impact?
I don't, but not because my gut tells me like, of course it does, but I know better than that. Like, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo do not give a shit what anyone else is doing. They just want players. They just want you to. They know they're gonna sell this game no matter what they do. But I think they were just like, what can we do that's a little different? They probably don't even know Temtem exists, and I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like, it is very possible that they're like Vince McMahon in WWE. Like, he just doesn't give a shit what other companies are doing. Just focus on what you're doing. And Nintendo has proven that, like, year after year, generation after generation. They just don't care. They focus on how to make their games as good as possible on the limited hardware that they have. So I think what influenced this game more, or has a chance to influence this game more, is the success of Arceus and Pokemon Let's Go. Because those two games completely changed the way traditional Pokemon games are played, and I think this game learned from that, as opposed to Sword and Shield, which very much didn't learn from that. Sword and Shield did some cool new things as far as like the quote unquote gyms, and stuff like that, and like the semi-open world where you can go and play with your friends, like that was cool. But I think that was just a natural evolution of the games in general. And I think Arceus proved that players are hungry for a different way to play these games. So and Let's Go proved that there is a different way to play this game that doesn't have to be bigger and grander. It could be simpler. So I think that they're kind of just taking everything they've learned from all of the last 3 games that they put out and are trying to make it a true next step for Pokemon mainline generational games.
Yeah, I agree to an extent that, of course, Nintendo and especially the Pokemon Company are kind of going to do their own thing. I do think that like the success of Temtem had to at least have been in their periphery to see that people like wanted that and like were interested in that. And especially with like Legends Arceus, really like taking a leap, away from the traditional Pokemon gameplay. I think those two combined have an impact for sure. How much Temtem has, actually influenced them, I don't know. But having that competition in the market, I think is needed for sure.
Absolutely.
Matt, any thoughts? Any feelings down on the balls about Pokemon?
I don't give a shit about Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just don't. I never have. I don't
That's
think
fair.
I ever will.
That's
This,
fair.
admittedly though, Arceus and this have looked like games that maybe I would play. But yeah, I don't know. The turn-based stuff never hit me as a kid, because I was too twitchy and could not sit still. So
Sure.
I never was able to get into these, unfortunately.
Did you play the card
That's
game
fair.
at all?
No, I was a Magic guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, sorry that it doesn't get your balls.
It's all right.
Your Pokeballs. Your Pokeballs.
I was talking a little bit earlier in the Discord about my video game blasphemies that most people probably wouldn't believe, but this just adds to the list of sins that exist on my ledger. So
that's fine. I hate survival games. You hate Pokemon. It's whatever.
yeah,
I think
great.
Monster Hunter's shit.
That's okay.
And I don't. And here's the thing. And here's the thing. I don't
actually.
think that. I just really hate that I can't get into it. Like I just don't like
Sure.
the way you fight things in that game. I just don't like it. Just doesn't feel good.
It's fair.
It's time for the topic of the show.
Topic of the show. Chicka-ticka-pa-boom.
We had a Sony State of Play today that they said we're going to focus on third-party titles and PSVR 2. One thing I will say that I really appreciate about Sony and Nintendo in particular, if they say that the show is going to be about PSVR 2 and third-party games, it's about PSVR 2 and third-party games, and they
correct.
they don't lie to people. They don't have
no surprises.
But
one more thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if they do have a one more thing, it's within the scope that they set, right? I love and appreciate that. I feel like the hype around Microsoft events can kind of get out of hand, and it leads to people being kind of disappointed when they find out 55% of the stuff that was shown is all third-party stuff that's coming everywhere that they just happen to get marketing exclusive rights on,
Right.
and they continue to not set expectations well. So and Microsoft doesn't do events like this as often. They don't do they kind of stick to the E3, and then they do their EXO stuff in holiday, but so that's they kind of can get more hyped. But I appreciate Sony and Nintendo's ability to set expectations with these. All right, running down the line here, the very first thing that we saw was Resident Evil 4 Remake coming in March of 2023. I think this is awesome. The remakes that they've done so far have been great. Not for me. I hate horror games, so like, meh. But like by all accounts, the games have been made very well and have been very critically acclaimed. And I know people have been clamoring for Resi 4 specifically to get remade for a long time. So I'm glad that people are getting what they want.
I assume you've never played 4, right? So
No. The
now
only
you
one that
liked
I've
8,
played is 8.
and
No.
you remember Tall Lady.
Mm-hmm.
You
I did
l-
not like 8.
What about
You-
would you
you
like
love
would you like
Tall
Short
Lady.
Man?
I was
like
just gonna
Short
say,
Man.
if you like the opposite of Tall Lady, Resident Evil 4 is for you.
It is for you. That is true.
That's funny.
It's a great game.
A cool thing about this, though, they also mentioned that there is going to be PSVR 2 content for the game.
Yep.
They didn't
Yeah, that's
highlight
awesome.
what it was, but I think that's dope. They also announced Resident Evil Village will also be getting a PSVR 2 version.
I think VR Resident Evil is my spoopy line.
Yeah, I saw some people playing VR Resident Evil 7, and that's just a
Well,
big
7
no.
is just a masterpiece of
I-
terror.
Yeah, I love horror stuff, but like I think the being there part of it.
Yeah, the it being in your eyeballs.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
You can close
Yeah.
your eyes. I don't know if you know that. You can
I do know.
close your
Thank
eyes.
you, Steve. Thank you,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I don't-
Bodily functions with Steve.
I don't think I'm ever gonna touch these, but I know a lot of people are excited about that, and I
Yeah.
think it's great ahead of the launch of PSVR 2 that they are getting some like must-have games. Like that's one of the things that the first PSVR kind of lacked, right?
Yeah.
Is it didn't have those like killer apps to begin with, like right out the gate. And so having, now that VR has kind of matured a little bit, having these like full-fledged like big experiences in VR, I think is going to lend to even more success for PSVR 2.
We also know it works now.
Yeah, exactly. A couple more PSVR 2 titles that they showed: The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Retribution Chapter 2, which is a fucking mouthful.
Yeah, I am insanely excited for this game because the first one is actually my favorite VR game of all time.
Really?
It is. It was like the most. It's the most VR game. It's the most game VR game that
Yeah.
I can think of. Like it's such a full-fledged game.
Have you played the Half-Life game? I've heard that that's really
I have
good
not
too.
played Half-Life Alyx yet, but I hear
Okay.
that is also on that level. Like it's a
A
full-ass
lot of
game.
people say that is like the best VR experience if you're wanting like a real ass game, but it's good to hear that this game kind of is in that same step. And I think the new controllers for PSVR 2 are going to lend themselves really well to like gunplay and stuff, which
Yeah.
I'm
Really
excited
quick aside, my favorite thing about this game was that about the first one was that there were times where your knife would get stuck in the skull of a zombie. So like you
Oh.
would like stab a zombie in the face or whatnot, and it would get stuck, and you would have to like struggle while other zombies were coming around you, like pulling it out of the skull of the zombie you just killed. It was great.
Nah, that is too spoopy for me. Going from spoopy to bright, luscious, and beautiful, they then showed off the PSVR adjacent to Horizon Forbidden West. What was the name of this game?
Call of
Where's
the
my
Mountain.
list?
Call of the Mountain. Yeah.
Call of the Mountain, that's right. This game looks really good.
That looks like
the
it sure does look
visuals
like
on it
Horizon.
are in a VR. Like,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
dope. And I love they showed your character because you don't play as Aloy. They showed your character like pushing back some vines to like walk through the forest and stuff, and you just see like the floating hands, and like you see the hands climbing up the ladder. It looks really good, and I'm glad that they're continuing to like put out their own titles and like put significant budget into creating good VR experiences for their platform. If they just rely on third party, I think that's the easiest way to let it die. So
Yeah, I also think this is a cool way to expand on this franchise. Like
yeah, totally.
the scale of a Thunderjaw while playing like Forbidden West or Zero Dawn is already pretty impressive. Like when you're in third person, but like I can only imagine in first person how crazy that is going to look.
Yeah, totally. With that, they also announced a big update to Horizon Forbidden West. Lots of quality life improvements. They highlighted like being able to respec and transmog your gear, stuff like that, as well as New Game Plus. And that's coming out soon. So, or today? Did they say that was coming out today, later this week, something like that? Near future, that's going to be out. And then the other big VR title that they showed off was the PSVR 2 version of No Man's Sky. And as the resident No Man's Sky expert, Matt, does this do it for you?
It does. It looks like it is. So right now the PSVR 1 version of the game has some fidelity problems.
Mm.
It's kind of tough to see, and it's lower quality than you would like it to be. So seeing it look as good as it can in VR is great. I will say this is the only VR game that has ever made me almost throw up, because flying a ship
Oh,
off of
yeah.
a planet and then gliding by a planet-sized planet really fucked up my equilibrium and perspective, and it was fucking wild.
Yeah. I get really queasy in VR. Like I haven't bought any VR headsets because the couple of times I've tried it, it's like really made my tummy turn.
Mm.
So um and I also hate survival games, so this is probably a no-go for me. But
It's the
I'm
most
glad
no-go for you, I guarantee it.
yeah, I'm glad it's out there for people. Moving out of the PSVR 2 stuff, we alluded to it a little bit at the top of the show, but PlayStation continues to double down on their PC releases. They announced that both Spider-Man Remastered and Miles Morales are going to be coming out on PC on Steam. So Spider-Man Remastered is coming out on August 12th. And then Miles Morales is going to be coming out in fall. We didn't get a release date for that. But it's awesome.
June 28th, 2017, 7:04 a.m. Insomniac Games with the blue check mark tweets, "It will never appear on Xbox or PC. It's a permanent PS4 exclusive, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment."
Were they talking about the remaster version though?
They were talking about Spider-Man.
There we go. Loopholes.
They were talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, but not.
That's fair.
not
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Listen, it's called
Fucking-
changing your business strategy.
Yeah,
That's what that
fucking
is.
Brian Intihar can eat his shorts. You know what I mean?
That's all it is. And it has nothing to do with Insomniac. That's Sony is like, oh, money? Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
I think it's a great strategy. You know, I talked about it earlier, so we don't have to repeat it all. But continuing to release your product on PC on a neutral platform, even though it's primarily controlled by Microsoft, like having that additional way into like the gaming lexicon, I think is huge.
I just wish they had like, and I don't know why I wish this, but I kind of wish they just had like a PSN PC app.
Like launcher.
Yeah, just so that they could be like, see, it's still PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, instead of like Steam.
The remote play is fucking horrible.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it sucks so bad.
I've had really good experiences with it, especially on my phone, and on my laptop. So I can't really speak, but I've had terrible experiences with it, with like console to console. Like I remember you could do like 4 to 5 or whatever it was. That didn't work very well, but
yeah. All right, continuing on, Steve's Game of the Year, Kitty Cat Simulator, aka Stray, will be coming out on PS4 and PS5 July 19th. This is also going to be included as part of the Premium and Deluxe PlayStation Plus tiers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've upped your subscription there, you will be getting this game included, which a lot of people are excited about.
I'll say this trailer for this game Like I was already kind of sold on it anyway, just like the idea of it. But this trailer for this game, I think, really put in perspective the scale of what this game is going to be.
Hmm.
And it looks so good.
Yeah, I think the world is super interesting.
Yeah.
The like robot people and stuff. I think
Cyberpunk
are
kitty
yeah.
stuff.
I think it's super cool. I want to know who strapped their iPhone to the back of this kitty.
Agreed.
But yeah, overall, super excited about this, and it's coming so soon. Like that's 6 weeks away. I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, biggest surprise there was
Multo
that it's
excited.
right around the corner.
Yeah, another game that I'm never ever gonna touch.
Oh
with
my
a
god, this
10-foot
game looks so
pole.
good.
I can't fucking wait for this game.
The Callisto Protocol, I think is how you say it.
Yep.
Spiritual successor to
Dead Space.
Space.
Dead Space. There we go.
Made by former Dead Space developers.
Dead Outer Space.
Dead developers.
Published by Krafton, who just had to shut down Mistover. At least I thought I saw the Krafton logo. I'm pretty sure I did.
But yeah, this game looks spooky as fuck.
It looks
and
awesome.
if you like Dead Space,
does.
this is very much
Look
Dead
at the
Space.
dude's face.
Yeah.
That looks real.
That's what blew my mind too. Yeah, is like the like graphical fidelity of this game is insane.
Is that Unreal 5? Like, because like that look like if that's what games are going to be looking like now, like okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks incredible. And like the lighting, the specific sequence I remember is when the guy was climbing up that chain in the like elevator shaft or wherever he was.
Yeah.
And you see like the distant lighting and you see something kind of like flicker across it and you see how it like reflects off of his armor or whatever that he's wearing. Like it looks incredible. The gameplay that they showed looks really, really good. Again, too spoopy. We'll never play it. But it's coming out super soon, December 2nd. For this game to, as far as I know, this was like an announcement, right? Like we didn't know about this beforehand, right?
No, we did.
We did.
We'd known about
yeah,
this.
we
But it
knew
was
that,
we just knew it existed.
we knew it was going to be
Okay.
a spiritual successor. We knew it was going to, we knew who was making it.
We haven't seen it yet.
Correct.
This is like the
no,
first time
I think we
we've seen
saw screenshots, I want to say, of like
Yeah.
or
the
at most
behind
a
the
teaser.
back, like
Yeah.
like to show that it was very similar, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But coming out December 2nd of this year on both PS4 and PS5. Very cool. The next game that they showed, I thought was fucking awesome. So this is from the developer of Ollie Ollie World.
Or Tony Hawk.
It's fucking The Purge, Tony Hawk, Jet Set, shoot 'em up.
Yep.
This game, Roller Dome, looks dope. Cell shaded, really cool movement. I love the art style on it, and you just like skate around and shoot people in the face. I'm excited about this one. I think this is everything that stupid Ubisoft game wanted to be.
I think this is the most surprising game of the whole thing for me. Is you see this, it comes on screen, you're kind of intrigued. You're like, what is this? And then by the end of the trailer, it's like, holy shit! I think I need this now.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really cool. I love the art style. August 16th is the release date on that one. So coming really, really soon. And Ollie Ollie World was great. Like those devs are awesome. So I'm excited to see what this game actually is.
Yeah.
The next thing we got was weeb as fuck. Let me tell you, Eternites.
Fucking cool though.
Action. It's an action game dating hybrid. With a distinct anime vibe is how the developers describe it. Coming in early 2023 for PS4 and PS5. This game looks weird as fuck, man. I don't know if I'm in on this one.
So you know how you said too spoopy for me?
Yeah.
This is too weeby for me. I can't.
Sure.
I can't. It looks great, gameplay wise, but I can't do it.
They were inspired by Persona 4, Golden, and all that fun stuff. So it's got Persona vibes. The combat looks crazy good. Sign me up. Action RPG, sign me up. I don't care. But I do want to roll back a little bit to the Ali Ali game. This whole thing made me very sad.
Oh,
Because former guest of Dual Screens podcast, developer of Trickshot, had this idea first, and I think Trickshot looks way better than this game. But Trickshot is also an arena team based like 4v4 with that same mechanic, and I think it's way better. But that's my opinion.
how would you know? You've never played this game.
Because it fucking is awesome.
Okay.
It just looks better. Like, just looking at it, you're like,
Sure.
oh, this looks like it's. I don't know. The other one looked janky as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eternites looks really fucking cool, and I'm about that right there.
I absolutely am not, but power to everyone who is.
Well,
correct.
Want to know what visually does look incredible? Street Fighter 6.
I still don't understand what I watched on that as far as the open world part and running around.
Yeah.
And
I did not know that this was Street
Molto
Fighter
Kung
6
Fu, no.
until Chun-Li showed up. I had no idea what the fuck I was watching.
Ryu's old now. He's got like a beard. He's like grizzled. I don't know. I could tell like when they first started, it looked like that engine. But I wasn't sure if it was like a spin-off or whatever. I don't know. I think graphically it looks beautiful. They do a really good job with like, really making like colors pop and
Yeah.
like exaggerating things in a fighting game way, but not too much to where it's like too over the top. And I have always really liked their art style. So I think it's cool. I'm glad they're going in a unique direction. I always like when fighting games like have something unique to offer and it's not just like the same.
I like new characters.
Fucking,
I feel
Yeah.
like what this felt like was like passing the baton. It felt like Chun-Li had a student, Ryu had a student,
yeah.
and like that's what it felt like replacing the old guard with some new characters. A little unfortunate that what the hell is his name? Man, what did they say the main character's name? I forget. But he just sounds just awful. Just like, oh, you're not fun at all. But
Was it Luke?
that sounds familiar.
I don't know.
It was
Anyway.
something like that. It was something like
Yeah.
very generic dude name. But I like new character. Like I like when like the Street Fighter EX games, like they had a whole new cast, no returning characters. Like
Yeah.
I think that was the one. Like Skullomania, and like you got like such cool characters. I wish they would do that. This is a cool way of kind of introducing that, like maybe having proteges for some of the old guard, and then kind of expand on the new roster.
It's a lot like what they did with Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 with like all of the usual Mortal Kombat cast having like kids and fucking
Yeah.
nephews and shit now,
Yeah,
like it's
Pets.
a very similar approach. But
Slime-
I think it
Slimer.
looks good. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not a huge fighting game guy. I'm bad at fighting games, but I like playing like
I like
fighting
Street
game
Fighter.
stories and stuff. So
I like Street Fighter's gameplay. It's a lot of fun to play. I will never play that by myself or
Yeah.
online. I will only
Right.
play that with friends. In Mortal Kombat, I love to play the story, but I will never play that against the like. I'm not just going online and playing people. That's no bueno.
I'm with you. Yep, I'm with you.
I dropped the link to the Steam page for Trickshot if you want to take a look at that. And if you don't see that in action and tell me that that's not better than what were shown on the PlayStation thingy, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, all right. What next?
yeah, couple more indie darlings going to be coming to the PlayStation platform. First, Tunic, which recently had an incredible launch on Xbox and PC. The game is very cool, kind of like a Zelda Souls-like, and you play as a cute little fox. That's coming out September 27th. And then Season, A Letter to the Future.
No idea.
More like story-based,
Yeah.
like walking sim kind of a game.
It looks
that's
pretty.
coming out this fall. Yeah, it looks beautiful. The art style is very interesting. Looks like you're in kind of a kind of like a Pacific Northwesty like small town, which is very overplayed at this point, but whatever. But it does look very beautiful. A lot of like lush greenery. And then finally, the big heavy hitter, the thing that I fucking called in the Discord. Everyone was like, no, there's no way we'll see Final Fantasy 16. It's not happening. Huge Final Fantasy 16 trailer, as well as a release window coming summer of 2023. The combat system in this game looks incredible.
Yeah.
It looks very confusing, and I'm here
It
for it.
looks
I'm way
so
into
good.
it.
Yeah.
Andy informed me that the combat designer, I guess, of Devil May Cry is
Mhm.
helping with the combat of this.
Mm-hmm.
You
And that
can
means that
totally
this,
see it in this trailer too.
Yeah.
yeah, that means that this might be the first Final Fantasy I ever actually play.
I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. I know some people kind of like poo-pooed on it, but I enjoyed that combat system. That was the very first platinum that I ever got on my PS4. And what kind of like got me down
Seven Remake
the
is really
rabbit
good
hole
too.
of like trophy hunting. Yeah, I haven't played 7 Remake yet, but
You should play
15
7
was really
Remake.
good. 15 was really good. I liked it a lot. I'm very excited to play this game.
Correct.
And they showed off like a bunch of the summons, and they look incredible.
They look so cool.
They
Holy
look
crap.
so good.
And there, it seems like there's like a mini fighting game when
I
you
was
do
gonna say,
summons.
it looked like a kaiju
fight,
fighter.
yeah.
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 You got like these two fucking giant fighters going up against each other. Like, it looks sick. I'm super excited about this. One thing I will note, I've heard some rumors that if Final Fantasy 16 could go this year, that Square Enix was going to delay Forspoken. But if it couldn't, then Forspoken, they were going to really try and get out this year. Which is not a good reason to delay a game.
I will say that
have a game replace it.
Every time I've seen Forspoken, I think to myself, this looks amazing, but looks like it needs to stay in the oven a little bit longer.
Yeah, there was a preview event a couple of months ago, I think, and that was kind of the general consensus from all of the outlets that went as well. Was like, this is a little rough around the edges. Like, this needs a lot more polish, and if they're gonna try and force it out this year, just precautioning you now, like, be a little bit hesitant around that game. Give it a little while to get some patches if you are like super excited about it. I think there's a chance that it could be kind of rough at launch. All right, that wraps up.
Good, because I'm gonna
topic
puke.
of the show.
I'm so damn tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very late for you guys. You guys recorded a lot of shows. We went kind of long here as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to follow along, Steve, where can they find you?
At Batchild27 on social medias. And of course, you could find me streaming at twitch.tv/Batchild 4 days a week, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And Matt, where can people find you?
I am at Missed Enough on any and all platforms. And I don't stream anymore, but maybe I will soon.
You can follow me on Twitter at itsPurger. Make sure you're following Dual Screens on Twitter at dual_screens. If you want to join in on the discussion, you can go to patreon.com/NDS podcast. For $1, you get access to our exclusive patron Discord, where you can jump in, have chats with us, submit questions to the shows, things like that. Keep an eye out on the site. I've got another little write-up for one of my favorite indie darlings of the year coming out this coming week. And we're going to be doing an interview with the developer for that game soon as well. So keep an eye out for that. Until next time, we're sleepy.
True.
I forgot I was in charge of the button.